Hey y'all, I'm Kurt, this is Jace. We're going to be working on a 2016 Subaru Forester XT with a turbo 2-liter. It's going to be the fuel oxygen ratio sensor. It's also known as the sensor that's just before the catalytic converter, or the upstream catalytic converter, or upstream oxygen sensor. So for this, we're going to be using a flashlight. We'll be using a 10 millimeter socket with a 3/8 inch drive ratchet. We'll be using a pick to pull on hoses, a flat blade screwdriver, a set of pliers, some anti-seize, and then we got this NTK oxygen sensor here. Oh yes, and the oxygen sensor socket, which is just sort of an offset. I'd recommend using the one with the 1/2 inch drive, like that. We'll also be using a 1/2 inch breaker bar, 1/2 inch drive breaker bar, because it's just, you need some leverage. Let's see. So we're going to get started here by making room to work. It's pretty tight in there on most of these Subarus. On the videos that I've seen, the connector's on the passenger side of the engine. On the turbo version, it's on the driver's side of the engine. So I'm going to start pulling some parts out so we can get a better look and get better leverage on that. And then we'll go from there. So the first thing we start working on is, if you'll get a shot over here, is the coolant reservoir. Okay, so the coolant reservoir is sitting over here on the side. You pull the hose straight out, and then can you get a shot of that right there, Jace?
I think I kind of am.
Okay. And you just push this in, and this will slide right out. See how easy it slides out?
Sometimes it takes a little bit, and yeah.
There we go. Slides right out, and then you just wiggle it out, and it just sort of lifts right out. It's only held in by friction. Put this off to the side. All right, and we're gonna need that over here again. So, if you've watched any late model Subaru Forester repairs, it seems like you always have to take out this air duct for the engine intake, and it's just these two buttons, and these are the factory ones that you just lift this center button out, and then pull the whole thing out. Okay, and then this just sort of lifts out and slides right out, and then you will just set this aside.
Next thing is the fan.
Alright, so the fan, I think I've already got it disconnected down here. Let's see, where's that light? So if you look down here, there we go. You see down here, can you see? There's a plug. Okay, there's a plug right about here. Hold that right there. There's a plug right there that you need to undo from the fan, and that's the only plug that plugs the fan in. So it's just a simple, you just reach in there and push it, and then slide it out. Alright, I'll show you a little bit more. This is where you use the 10 millimeter socket. And these are already loose, but you just take these two out. And you're going to see that this car needs some maintenance. It's a little low on coolant. But I'm going to break this, just to make this a little easier, I'm going to break this radiator hose free. And that's where the pliers come in. You just pinch this spring clip, or spring clamp, pinch it, and then Move it back off the flange there. And then what I had to do was use my pick and just sort of get up under there because it had been there for a while and I had to break that free. But I already did this once, so it should come pretty free. Now you can see there should probably be coolant spilling out when I do that, but there isn't. And you just lift the fan out. Okay, and you set this off to the side. Now, we got a pretty good shot of the inside of the engine. If you want to get that camera down in here. Alright, so let's see. Okay, so you can see this plug right here. This is the, you just pinch this end bit right here. You give it a pinch and just sort of wiggle it out. And if you follow this wire all the way down, there's your oxygen sensor. Okay, and that's what we're going to be taking out. So this is where that tool comes in. Can you pause it for a second?
Yep.
Alright, so now we're using the oxygen sensor removal tool. I really do recommend getting a 1/2 inch drive so you can use your 1/2 inch wrench. So it will give you more leverage than your 3/8 inch wrench. Allow me to demonstrate. That's a good 3 inches there, 4 inches of distance, so more leverage. Alright, so Jason's going to come over here and get a shot of this oxygen sensor down here. Okay. Can they not hear you when you whisper? Alright. So, right about there. Sandy's car is belching black smoke, and Jason's been wanting to make a video for a long time. So, we're making a video about fixing cars.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Now you can be popular on YouTube.
Yeah, I know. Remember my face.
Okay.
I'll get you drinks.
I love it. Have a good day.
Alright, we'll see you later.
Oh.
Alright, so let me make sure I got everything.
I'll unpause it once you tell me.
Okay, go ahead and let's get a shot of this.
Okay, tell me when to unpause it.
Go ahead and unpause it. So, sorry, we got distracted by a phone call, but I was talking about these nubbins. If you're Friends fans, like Chandler's nubbins, alright? So then, if you come over here, Jace will bring the camera and look down in the engine bay again. And you'll see there's a hole there and a hole there. Those are where these nubbins fit. So it just kind of takes a little guidance with your hand. It's hard to see, so I'm gonna reach down in there and just sort of guide it into place. So it slides in pretty easy. I'm gonna reach around here. Uh-oh. Oh, there's the fluid.
Oh
coolant.
no. Now it decided to start flowing.
Right. Okay.
Right when we're putting everything back.
Well, at least it hadn't been flowing this whole time.
Yeah.
See, there's some beauties to not maintaining your car. No coolant makes it easier.
But maintain your car.
Yeah. Yeah, that is not an endorsement not to maintain your car. Okay. So now everything's set in there pretty good. I'm gonna go get my retention bolts. Right here.
Pull away, fly.
Right. And then we just
Put the bolts back in.
yeah, I do not know if there's a torque value to this, but it's just plastic, so I would say don't put everything you got into it.
Okay. Go away, fly.
So just spin those into place. And then we make sure it's set to tighten.
Make sure it tightens, or else when your car starts going, it might fall out.
Yeah, and then your fan falls into your belts, and then you got problems. All right, and now that's tight. Now, another important point: do not forget to plug the fan back in.
Hey, go away! It's
So
fine.
remember, the fan plug is way down here. Come over here.
Okay. Like about.
Let's see. No, more like. All right, how you doing?
For Sandy?
Yeah, leave it here. Yeah, we got it.
Set it right here.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Cool, have a good day, guys.
All right, you too. Thank you. Yeah. All right, super easy. Just got to get it lined up, and then you hear the satisfying click, and your fan's hooked up.
Yay!
Now, reattach your radiator hose, and then another video we're gonna make is filling up your radiator.
Yay! Okay, this fly.
So you want to make sure it's seated all the way up to the edge like that. Grab your pliers.
Lion. I'm going to kill this fly. Fly, go. Fly, come back another. No.
Oh, I see what's going on.
Also, make sure that the squeeze point things are lined up
Yep.
with the top.
All right. That's all connected. Now we got to put our reservoir back in. And it's just the opposite of what you did. Again, there's a little nubbin on the bottom of this thing. The Chandler being nubbin. Golly, I can't line this thing up. Little nubbin. And then there is on the side of the radiator fan. Get in here, kid.
Sorry.
That's alright. Let's see. Okay, right there is the hole. You want to put this, line this up with that hole. Make sure it's in there. I'm gonna reach, excuse me, camera.
Okay.
Oh, I think I hit that hole. Okay. Kind of got to feel it out again. And if everything goes right, it should just snap back into place. There you go, snap back in.
No screws required.
No screws.
Which I don't like that.
Yeah, it seems to have held together for about 120,000 miles. Alright, now everything is back together. I'm going to get cleaned up. And the reason we were doing this, I forgot to mention that, is that this car has been acting. Oh, I forgot to put the cowler back in. This car has been acting up. It's been getting terrible fuel mileage and belching black smoke, almost like a nice diesel. So we did before this change the spark plugs. There's pretty good videos for that, and we cleaned out the mass airflow sensor. Line these holes up here.
It might be better to have somebody help you do this.
Yeah, Yeah, it's always nice to have either a hand or just conversation.
Yes.
So the mass airflow sensor, let me show you just in case you're going to go looking for it. It's right over here. Get a shot of that right there. See that wire? It always is between the air box and the engine intake. All right. Cool.
Okay.
That should be it.
Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. And thank you. This is how to change a oxygen sensor.
Fuel air ratio oxygen sensor.
Thank you. Bye. Like and subscribe.